Welcome back to the GSMC Baseball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Sam Menzie, and we have a great show for you today. First topic we'll be going over is recapping the home run derby from last night, giving exciting moments and just what happened overall and giving my thoughts on it. After that, we'll be going over the top storylines in the All-Star Game, some notable non-first round picks, then going over the American League and National League standings at the halfway point of this year. But before we do that, I'd like to ask you to please like and follow the show. We do get a number of questions from viewers that ensure that your question does get read in the air. Please use the link, GSMCpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. And let's get back into the show for today. All right, so first topic, of course, is going to be talking about the home run derby and just recapping that. Obviously, as you can see on the screen, and if you're watching this, I'm sure you watched it, the winner was Teoscar Hernandez from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, I did end up predicting the home run derby last night, giving my personal predictions, and I was completely wrong. The two guys I thought would meet in the finals, Adolis Garcia and Pete Alonso, both were eliminated in the first round, so that was really nice to be able to get that completely wrong. But yeah, there were a lot of surprises last night, and I do just want to go over them and just give my general thoughts on it. So yeah, let's get into it. So first one we have is we're going to talk about the who went on to round two. So round one, of course, you had Alec Bohm, Bobby Witt Jr., Adolis Garcia, Teoscar Hernandez, Pete Alonso, Jose Ramirez, Marcell Ozuna, and Gunnar Henderson competing. And Bohm, Witt, Hernandez, and Ramirez all went on to the second round. Now, I only did end up getting one of those right, as I predicted Jose Ramirez to go to the second round. After that, I predicted Adolis, Pete Alonso, and Gunnar to all go to the second round. Obviously, none of them did, so that was a big L on my part. But after that, you would have Alec Bohm versus Teoscar Hernandez, and Hernandez would win a swing-off, so he would go to the final round. And then you would have Bobby Witt Jr. versus Jose Ramirez, and Bobby Witt Jr. would absolutely destroy Jose Ramirez, getting 5 more home runs than him. So, yeah, overall, very surprising derby. I really did not expect Alec Bohm to go to the semifinals and Bobby Witt Jr. to go to the finals. You know, I was close to picking Teoscar Hernandez to go. I thought there was a good chance that he would have. I just thought the other candidates were better. I mean, Hernandez is a known power hitter, so it's not exactly crazy that he went. I mean, Alec Bohm, who would have thought at all that he would have gone to the semifinals? He was the one guy I thought had no chance. I really did not think his swing was made for this. I didn't think he was the type of hitter, but hey, he did exactly that. He went to it, and he did a great job, so props to him. And, you know, there were a lot of disappointments in this. I was really expecting a pretty fun derby, and to be honest with you, I was left disappointed. I think really just the national anthem off the top really started off poorly. I don't know if you guys watched, but man, that was really bad. So yeah, that was really poor, that national anthem. Obviously, she announced today that she was actually not fully there during it, if you know what I mean, and she's going to rehab. So obviously, hope the best for her. But man, that was an interesting way to start off the night, getting that national anthem being sung. So yeah, but I was really expecting mainly 3 guys to really do well, and they didn't. First off, Pete Alonso. I mean, he has won the home run derby twice now. Hasn't won it since 2021, so maybe his glory days are over, quote unquote. But you know, had his old pitching coach back in Dave JioSaavn, who threw to him back in 2021 when he did end up winning in Colorado. So I thought, like a lot of people, that he would end up going really far in this derby, but no, he would be really disappointing. Only hitting 12 home runs in the first round, the second lowest among them all. Now, Dave JioSaavn wasn't exactly the greatest throwing to him, but at the same time, Pete Alonso won in 2019 when his cousin was throwing to him. And man, as a Mets fan who watched that live and was rooting for Pete, his cousin did absolutely horrible. I still remember that, so I don't really think it's an excuse at this point. Alonso's had a pretty down season as well with the Mets, so just has not gone right for him. I don't really think he should have made the All-Star game either. I think there were probably four or five more deserving candidates. I mean, Brandon Nimmo, Pete Alonso, his own team. Brandon Nimmo, Francisco Lindor were more deserving than him and his own teammates. Brendan Doyle of the Rockies, I think, should have went. And also Christian Walker of the Arizona Diamondbacks was also much more deserving as a first base option, in my opinion. But, you know, they obviously wanted him in the home run derby, and it did not work out well for them. So good for Pete. At least he gets a free trip to the All-Star game. But, yeah, that was really disappointing there. After that, Gunnar Henderson. Man, I really thought Gunnar Henderson would go far. I thought his swing was perfect for this derby, that tight, compact lefty swing with all the just natural power he has through his motion. I really thought he would be the perfect choice to be in this to go far in this home run derby, his first one to many, I would assume. And man, he really did not end up doing well in this. That was unfortunate. Again, I was very disappointed there. And then also Adolis Garcia. Again, I thought his batting stance is perfect for the home run derby. He went far last year, making it to the finals, of course. And I thought with everything going on, he hired a known home run derby coach, a guy who's thrown to Julio Rodriguez in the past, who obviously made it far a few years ago. So that was nice, but obviously didn't work out. And also, again, him with that home run derby pitcher, with him being at home, having experience in the All-Star game, having just such natural power. I mean, just look at his thighs, man. They're great. Look at his arms and thighs. Man, he's naturally strong. I really thought that he would be a perfect home run derby contestant, but he did not go far. So those are three really big disappointments. I really thought that it'd be much more enjoyable, but once those guys were out, I kind of lost a little bit of interest. But Alec Boehm, I really thought had no chance to go far. In the comments, Buffer, I believe your name is pronounced. If not, I apologize. He said, "Derby put me to sleep. Did it really have to take 3 hours?" That's another thing as well. I agree with that. It was kind of long. I didn't really realize it when I was watching, but I checked the clock after it was done. I was like, man, that was really long. So I agree with you. I think the home run derby's fun, but I just don't think it should be as long as it needs to be. And national anthem was my derby highlight. Yeah, hopefully she gets better. That's all I'm gonna say. But man, that national anthem was not great. Definitely was it was something, I'll say that. So, at least she owned up to it, and she's going to get better. But, yeah, overall, I think it was a disappointing derby. I think that the 10-out format, honestly, is pretty great. I think that's where we should go back to. I know a lot of people are talking about it, but I do think that the 10-out format of the home run derby made it a lot better, made it a lot more exciting. Hitters could relax when swinging. They don't have to just go swinging and swinging, they don't have to worry about the time. They can relax after each swing, get themselves going, and I feel like their power is more effectively put on display. So I think that would have been a good decision as well to maybe put that there. But overall, still a lot of good contestants, but really did not live to my expectations. So Boehm versus Hernandez, that was honestly pretty exciting. Going to a swing off, of course, Teoscar didn't end up winning. And then, obviously, Jose Ramirez versus Bobby Witt Jr. did not go at all as I expected. I was like, okay, Bobby Witt Jr., good for him. But Jose Ramirez, a known power hitter, versus Bobby Witt Jr., a right-handed small shortstop, kind of think I know he's going to win here. And Bobby Witt Jr. proved me wrong. So props to him and how well he did. So, yeah, the finals now, Bobby Witt Jr. versus Teoscar Hernandez. Two guys I did not even have going to the second round. That was crazy, but props to Teoscar Hernandez for winning. He did a really good job in it. Showed off his power, and man, what a turnaround these past few months have been. Got traded by the Blue Jays, got to the Mariners, did offer with the Mariners, did not even get a qualifying offer from them, signed a 1-year deal with the Dodgers, and man, as I said yesterday as well on the show, he's become such an important part of this lineup. You of course have the superstars like Mookie, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, but a guy holding that lineup together like Teoscar Hernandez is very important, and the way that he has been such an amazing signing here with Los Angeles has been so impactful to them, and congrats to him for winning this home run derby. It's not easy to do, and it's able to wrap up a really, really nice season for him in the starter uniform. So obviously it has been a fantastic signing for not only him but for the Dodgers as well. I'm sure he'll get a big contract in the offseason from whatever team. I just don't understand how the MLB let a guy like Teoscar Hernandez go to the Dodgers in free agency after they signed Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, James Paxton. I just don't understand it. So obviously they'll learn from that, but yeah, has had a really great season with them. I think really deserves this kind of recognition. Has done a fantastic job, and again, props to him and props for the season he's been able to put together with this Dodger team. It's been very cool to watch, and it's very, very nice to see that his career's kind of gone back on track from the way that we thought it would be. So yeah, overall, Tyler Glasnow as well. Yes, thank you. That was another big addition, of course. Not a free agent signing, of course, was a trade, but still obviously a big addition for them. But going for next year, I would like to see some other candidates. I think Ohtani, of course, you want to see Ohtani. Ohtani did say on the broadcast that he is willing to do it. He just didn't do it this year because after the rehab. So I think Ohtani going back into the home run derby next year would be fantastic. I want to see Gunnar Henderson in it again. I think he's going to do a fantastic job when he has more experience. I also think maybe going last kind of cooled him off after warming up. I think that maybe could have been a possibility as well. We'll have to see, but I think him and Ohtani should be really good. Of course, you want to see Judge do it, but Judge has said multiple times that he's not doing it until it returns to New York, which is fair, I guess. But as a New Yorker as well, I'm hoping that it does return to New York. That would be really cool. Please make that happen. But it's in Atlanta next year, so maybe we'll have one of their stars do it. I would assume, I would assume Acuna can't do it because he's going to be coming off of that ACL rehab. Marcell Ozuna did it this year, and I don't assume he'll have as good of a season as he's had this year, next year. So I don't think he'll do it. I think Matt Olson would be a really cool pick. Austin Riley as well. I think those two guys, huge power hitters, really nice swings for that ballpark. I think both would be really nice picks as well. So that would be interesting picks for who I'd like to see next year. But yeah, that was just me going over my home run derby recap for this year. Congrats to Oscar Hernandez of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm sure he'll get a big payday in the offseason as well. Going to our second segment here now, which is going to be talking about some All-Star Game storylines to watch for tonight's game. So yeah, we'll be going over that, and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye. There we go.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our second segment, which is going to be talking about some All-Star Game storylines to watch. But before we do that, I'd like to ask you again to please like and follow the show. It really does help, and it really does mean a lot, so thank you so much for that. GSMCpodcast.net, and we'll go back into the show for today. All right, before we do talk about some All-Star storylines, we have another comment here, going from our last segment, which is the Home Run Derby. He says, my dream Home Run Derby hitters, Ohtani, Judge, Soto, Henderson, Harper, Schwarber. Yeah, I think I agree with most of these. Ohtani, Judge, of course, I mentioned those guys. Soto, of course, already a winner, so I'm not sure what else he has to prove. I'm not sure he would do it, but of course, fantastic. Gunnar Henderson, yeah, I think he, again, is fantastic for the Derby. Bryce Harper, of course, another former winner, I think will be great. And Kyle Schwarber, that's definitely a pick I did not think about, but I think would be great. That huge lefty swing in any ballpark would be great. I think he's really made for it. And yeah, that would be very interesting as well. But going back to this now, we are going to be talking about some All-Star storylines, giving my thoughts on 5 things I think everyone should be watching as we go into this All-Star game and just going over these storylines. So yeah, starting off with number 1, we have, of course, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, the dynamic duo of baseball. Now, ever since Soto was traded from San Diego to New York in the offseason, he has done every single thing that the Yankees have asked for and more. He's been the elite hitter they've needed to complement Judge, has really held this lineup together, and has just been such an intimidating presence within this Yankees lineup, and really has been such an amazing trade. And I think just watching Judge and Soto hit back-to-back in this All-Star game is going to be a storyline. I mean, we get this amazing combination exposed to a national audience, to basically every baseball fan. And yes, people are going to say, well, they're on the Yankees, don't they get enough media coverage? And you're right, but at the same time, a lot of people don't watch Yankee games and aren't able to because of blackout restrictions in baseball, which is a big problem. And I think now going to a nationally televised game like the All-Star game, watching Soto and Judge versus some of the best pitchers in the world, hopefully they get to face Skeens. Hopefully Soto gets on base and Judge gets to face Skeens, so both of them do. And that would be really great as well, seeing both these guys, 2 of the best hitters in the world, 2 of the biggest stars in the world, face these amazing pitchers in the NL. I think will be very, very fun. So, yeah, it will be really great to watch, and it will be very exciting to end up seeing these guys versus all these great NL pitchers, being able for every single MLB fan to be able to see this dynamic duo. Of course, I live in New York, I have cable, so I'm able to see Yankees games basically whenever I want. And as much as I'm a Mets fan, I do still watch the Yankees because I'm a fan of baseball. I like watching baseball games, so I watch them a lot, and I can tell you firsthand how electric they are, how fantastic they are to watch. And yeah, really, really exciting to be able to see them on a national stage, and for a lot of people to be able to expose their talent level and be able to see just how good they really are. So that is it for the first one. After that, we're going for our second one, which is, of course, the man of the hour, the man of today, the guy every single person is going to watch the All-Star game because of, Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens is starting the NL All-Star game for a reason. He's become one of the biggest stars in baseball since getting drafted a year ago, and has already become a superstar, has already become one of the faces of baseball. Off the field and on, he's very known for what he does. And yeah, being able to have him start the All-Star game was a fantastic, fantastic choice by MLB and Diamondbacks manager Troy Lovullo, who is, of course, managing the NL All-Stars for this game. And being able to have Skeens exposed to a national audience today on ESPN for all the people who are going to watch this All-Star game, whether you're a baseball fan or not, it is very, very exciting to be able to also see him against some of the biggest stars in the AL. Of course, he's going to be facing Gunnar Henderson, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto. He said he is only pitching an inning, so that's obviously unfortunate a little bit. We want to see him go more, but obviously you don't want to risk injury, so I understand. So being able to guaranteed be able to face Gunnar Henderson and Juan Soto is fantastic. And if one of the first top three batters, of course, does get a base, he will be able to face Aaron Judge, which, of course, I'm sure a lot of people will be wanting. So being able to have one of the young superstars of this game on national television, being able to watch him pitch against these other amazing American League All-Stars is such a very exciting time for baseball. Such a great decision to be able to have him start the All-Star game. Yeah, very, very exciting to be able to watch him and see what he can do. Next, we are going to be having Elly De La Cruz. Again, kind of like Paul Skeens. I would say he's maybe the hitting version of Paul Skeens within baseball right now. He's one of the young superstars of this game that is exciting, draws people in, and plays for a smaller market. So being able to expose a guy who is exciting as this, but frankly plays for the Cincinnati Reds, to be able to have him exposed to a national market on ESPN will get a lot of people to watch, and people who aren't even baseball fans to be able to watch him and see, wow, who the heck is this? Will be very, very exciting. Elly is one of the most fascinating players I've seen in my lifetime, one of the most exciting players in my lifetime. I saw the Reds play the Cardinals a few weeks ago in person, and I got to see Elly steal a bunch of bases, and man, was it exciting. The thing about Elly that is so amazing is that every single person on the field knows he's going to steal when he gets to first base. If he hits a single and it's one out, it's like no outs or one out. Everyone in the outfield, everyone in the infield, everyone in the stands, everyone in the clubhouse knows he's going to steal. And the best part is there's nothing you can do about it because he's so good at stealing bases. He's so fast. He's such an exciting player. And he's someone baseball needs. He's been able to learn English rather quickly in his MLB career. And let me just say, as someone who had 7 or 8 years of schooling of Spanish, it's very hard to learn a different language. And whenever a young player is able to learn English, I'm very impressed by it, and I think you should get a lot of credit for it. So props to him. He's become one of the faces of baseball already because of how exciting he is, how just cool he is, how open he is to being marketed, and how just a great guy he seems like, how good of a face of baseball he can become. So very excited for fans of all ages, of all different types, to be able to be exposed to him on the All-Star game, to be able to see him not only hit, but hit against some of the best pitchers in the world from the AL, be able to run the bases as well, how exciting he is there. So that's another great thing I'll be watching, and I think is very, very exciting. After that, we have Mason Miller of the A's. Of course, one of the most exciting players this entire year. Was 102, 103 consistently. And, playing in Oakland, not a lot of people watch him because there's not much reason to watch the A's, except if except for him and Brent Rooker, I guess. So being able now to, again, have a national audience exposed to him, be able to see how good he is very, very exciting. And yes, he's on the A's. We're not sure how much longer he's going to be on the A's. Personally, if I was the A's, I would trade him, to be perfectly honest with you. But we'll have to see if he is on the A's by August 1st still. But being able to have a guy in the A's who is exciting as he is, who is as good as he is, exposed to a national audience, get everyone to be able to see how good he is something that is very good for the game of baseball, because in this short amount of time, he's become one of the most exciting players in the game. And again, I think it's very cool to be able to have a lot of people be newly exposed to his talent level and be able to see just how good Mason Miller is, how fast he throws, with how much break he throws. And again, his stuff is absolutely electric, fantastic. Every single word you can think of that means amazing. So yeah, very, very excited to see him on a national market, be able to excited to see a lot of people get exposed to him for the first time, get exposed to his talent level for the first time. And yeah, I think overall it's going to be very, very exciting to be able to see what is going to be happening with Mason Miller and what is going to be happening with his time now in the All-Star game. Last but not least, we have first-time All-Stars. There are over 30 first-time All-Stars in this game, and it is very exciting for these guys to be able to be put on a national market, be able to put on a national stage, get the recognition they deserved. I did pick Logan Webb for the kind of the poster boy of this. As you can see, he is the photo on stream. That's because I did not realize Logan Webb was a first-time All-Star. I thought this guy would have been a 2 or 3-time All-Star at this point. I think he's pretty much been one of the best consistent pitchers in baseball for a few years now, and the fact that he is only a first-time All-Star is pretty crazy to me. So props to him for being able to get the recognition he deserves. But just having these 30-plus first-time All-Stars on a national stage, getting the recognition they deserve, getting to be able to be part of this All-Star weekend, be able to be with some of these guys they grew up with, I'm sure, be able to look at some of their superstar guys. I mean, you're looking at some of these guys like Aaron Judge, Jose Altuve, Bryce Harper even. These older veteran guys who aren't even that old, but still are veterans, these younger players, being able to interact with them, being able to be in the same clubhouse as them, I think is very, very cool. And again, just having all these first-time All-Stars is very, very exciting. I mean, we talked about 2 of them before in Paul Skeens and Elly De La Cruz. 3 of them before, actually, in Paul Skeens, Elly De La Cruz, and Mason Miller. So being able to have all these first-time All-Stars shows how much the game is growing, how many different kinds of players are getting into it. And yeah, I just think it's a very exciting time for baseball with all the young amounts of talent we have in the game, and I'm very, very excited to end up watching them. So, just going over this again, some All-Star storylines to watch. Juan Soto and Aaron Judge, this dynamic duo that's exposed to all kinds of baseball fans now in this All-Star game. After that, we have Paul Skeens, of course, the man of the hour. Every single person's going to have their eyes on him. Very exciting to watch. Elly De La Cruz, exciting to watch him on the base pass in this entire game as well. Always exciting to see him, especially for a national audience now. Mason Miller and his electric fastball and his electric stuff plays for the A's, probably doesn't get a lot of national coverage, so to be able to have him on a national stage is very exciting. And then last but not least, of course, all these first-time All-Stars, 30-plus. Logan Webb I picked as the poster boy because I think he might be the best of them all. So yeah, it'll be very exciting to watch all these All-Star storylines. And we'll be going into our third segment now, which is going to be talking about some notable non-first-round draft picks. I will be explaining all these guys and just going over them as well. So, yeah, just talking about that, and we'll see you after the break. So, thanks, and bye. There we go.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our third segment, which is going to be talking about some notable non-first-round draft picks that I did want to give my thoughts on. I got 5 guys here. Now, I want to make it clear that some of these guys are not non-first-round picks. Some of these guys are first-round picks, I believe. 3 of them are, actually. But what non-first-round pick I mean is just out of the top 30, out of the actual first-round picks for each team that they have, like just the one pick they get for being in the draft. So these are guys out of the top 30 that I did want to talk about. So non-first round pick just makes it sound more, I guess, is more notable. Makes more sense. Let's just put it like that. So yeah, we'll be going over that. And we're starting off at number 1 from the Baltimore Orioles. Let's get him on the screen right here. There we go. Shortstop, Griff O'Farrell. Now, nope, I was supposed to pause. There we go. So Griff O'Farrell is a shortstop from West Virginia who the Orioles drafted 32nd overall which they got from having the Rookie of the Year in Gunnar Henderson last year. That was their pick. So obviously MLB rewarding teams for calling up prospects and getting them to win the Rookie of the Year, I think, is a very good idea. So O'Farrell is a 21-year-old shortstop, is 6'1", 195, really nice stature for a shortstop. Has a 55 hit grade, 40 hit grade, 55 run grade, 55 arm grade, and a 50 field grade. Now, University of Virginia is a very good baseball talent powerhouse. They did have Kyle Teal, who was a first-round pick last year from the Boston Red Sox. O'Farrell, again, I think with him is a very just MLB-ready player. If O'Farrell is up next year, I really would not be surprised. That's why I really like him. And the thing about O'Farrell is that he's a very good contact hitter. I think this is a guy who could hit 270, 280 consistently in MLB, have an OPS of around 800 consistently, but I don't think we'll hit for much power. I'd be surprised he hits for maybe 10 home runs every year. But he hits for contact. He's good on the base pass. He's very good defensively. And again, I think he's MLB ready. He's looked MLB ready as the shortstop position. Was one of the most decorated shortstops in college baseball before getting drafted. So I think overall this is a very good pick. And while again he doesn't have the most standout tools, the fact is he can hit the ball and he plays great defense. And the Orioles have such a good farm system that they can take chances like this on a guy like O'Farrell. So I'm not sure where he'll play when he comes up, as they have a loaded infield. Maybe he'll become a trade piece down the line. But I really like this pick. Again, I think he's very MLB ready. I think he was MLB ready in West Virginia, and being able to get him 33rd overall, I thought was a very notable selection. I thought was very good, and I just did want to give my thoughts on O'Farrell, and that I like the pick. So there we go. Next up, we have from the University of Iowa, starting pitcher Brody Brecht. Now, Brody Brecht was a guy who I projected, and a lot of people projected before the season, to be a top 10 pick in this draft. I thought Brecht was absolutely fantastic. He was the guy I really wanted the Mets to draft if we did well in the lottery. Of course, we didn't. We ended up in 19. But I really like Brecht, and I thought he was very good going into this year. And the problem with him is that he was supposed to be a top 10 pick this year, and a lot of people thought he would be. And he ended up falling to 39th overall for the Colorado Rockies. Now, 38th overall, my apologies. But the thing with Brecht is he has insane stuff. I mean, his fastball is absolutely incredible. His slider is absolutely incredible. The problem is they got hit pretty hard this year. He did not have a good season with the University of Iowa. He has amazing stuff. It's just the results weren't there. He's a two-sport athlete as well. He caught some passes at wide receiver for Iowa, so he's obviously a very athletic person. He's 6'4", 235, has a really nice windup. I think looks like a pitcher. And again, when he's on, he looks like the best player in the draft with his fastball and that slider, which are absolutely fantastic. The problem is, when he's not on, it's really bad. And he loses control, his pitches get hit really hard, and that's the problem with him. But I think taking a chance on him in the second round is a really good selection by Colorado. Now, I'm not sure how he's going to end up performing in Colorado, of all places, obviously being at Coors Field, but I think Brecht still has a ton of good stuff. I think at the very least can be an elite reliever. So I think the Rockies are taking a chance that, okay, try to develop him as a starter. I mean, what are we going to lose? We're not going to be competitive for the next 2 to 3 years. Might as well try it. I think I think he'll come up rather quickly, being from Iowa and being what I think has top 10 stuff. I think his stuff is really just right behind Trey Savage, Chase Burns, and Hagen Smith, the top drafted pitchers. I think it's pretty comparable to those guys right after. But again, I think it's really just about consistency with him. I think it's about having that control, making sure that fastball and slider is on all the time, because when it is, man, is he a scary player and some guy I really like watching. So yeah, that's another guy there. After that, we'll be going to Tommy White, who of LSU, who ended up getting drafted by the Oakland Athletics at 40 overall. So Tommy White was a guy who was a pretty consensus top 30 player in each board, top 20 for some, and I was very surprised that he did end up falling to this. Now, he has a 55 hit grade, a 60 power grade, a 50 arm grade, and a 40 field grade. So the problem with White is I don't think he's a defender at any MLB position. I think maybe he's a first baseman and more likely a DH, but I think the thing we have to look at is, can his offense be good enough that he won't play a position? Because to outlast the fact that he won't be a position. Is his offense good enough to be a consistent, good MLB DH? That's the question we have to ask. And I don't know, but I think that his offense still is really fantastic. He has a lot of good potential here as a power bat. Was very good with this LSU Tigers team, which of course is always very competitive, going not just this year, but his whole collegiate career as well, being 21. He's played for them for a little bit. So I really like this pick a lot with Oakland. I think White has a ton of talent. He's a very notable college baseball player. A lot of people know him. So I really like this pick. I think it was very, very good. It was a very good selection by Oakland because they can take these chances because, what are they really going to lose? It's not like they're going to be competitive till they go to Sacramento or Las Vegas. So I really like this pick a lot. I think, again, the 60 power grade speaks for itself. The 55 hit grade, I think at its best, Tommy White could be a 30-plus home run DH who has an OPS of around 850 or so. So I really think that Tommy White can become a really fantastic player. It's just about the development. Maybe try to develop his defense. I don't think it can happen, but you got to try at least. So will be very interesting to see what is going to end up happening with Tommy White and just his future here with Oakland. So yeah, definitely watching him, and I thought it was a really good pick here by Oakland. After that, we have our next one, which is going to be Bryce Cunningham, who was drafted by the New York Yankees coming out of Vanderbilt. So Cunningham was the second pitcher the Yankees drafted here. They drafted, of course, Ben Hess from Alabama in the first round, so drafted two starting pitchers here. Now, Cunningham, of course, comes from Vanderbilt, and I really, honestly, I like his stuff a lot. A very athletic player, 6'5", 230, could have been a tight end in the NFL. That's obviously impressive, but he has amazing stuff. A 60 grade slider, a 60 grade fastball, a 50 grade slider, 60 grade changeup. Obviously has a great fastball changeup combination that I think honestly can work very well at the MLB. I just think it's about having a bit more control and developing a third pitch. I think if he can do that, he can honestly be a frontline starter. I really like this pick a lot for Cunningham for the Yankees. I wasn't really a big fan of their first round pick in Ben Hess, and I think they really did much better in the second round here drafting Cunningham. I think he shows a lot of potential. He's very athletic for a pitcher, has a ton of great stuff, and yeah, very exciting about this pick, and I think it was a really good pick by this Yankees team. You get him more consistent with that control, get him a third pitch. I think he can honestly be a very good pitcher for this Yankees team, and very excited to watch him. Finally, we have from Northeastern outfielder Mike Sirota, who the Reds did end up drafting in the third round, 87th overall. Sirota, by a lot of people, I think was a top 60 or 50 player on their board. The fact that he did fall to 87 is honestly, in my opinion, a pretty good get by this Reds team. Sirota is actually a local kid coming from Mineola, so that's nice. Don't really get many New York prospects, but I really like his potential as well. I think he's very good out there in the outfield. I don't know if he can stick in center, but I think he'd be good in the corners. Has a good hit grade at 50, has a good arm grade at 55, and I do think he can end up being a very solid player in the MLB. I think his floor is very low. I think his floor is very high, honestly. I think he doesn't have the greatest ceiling, but I think he can end up being a good number 7 or 8 hitter in the MLB. A guy who has some good contact and maybe have an OPS of 750 or so. Played solid defense out there in the outfield, and I just think it was a very good pick by this Reds team. I really like the pick. I like the selection a lot. I think, again, he has a good floor for this team, and overall, I like Sirota a lot. I think he has a lot of good potential here with this Reds team, and I like grabbing him in the third round, where I did not think he would be available. So going over these picks once again, some notable non-first round picks that I did want to talk about. We have Griff O'Farrell from West Virginia, who did end up getting drafted by the Baltimore Orioles. Brody Brecht from the Iowa Hawkeyes, who did end up getting drafted by the Colorado Rockies. Tommy White from the LSU Tigers, who did end up getting drafted by the Oakland Athletics. Bryce Cunningham from Vanderbilt, who did end up getting drafted by the New York Yankees, and Mike Sirota from Northeastern, who did end up getting drafted by the Cincinnati Reds. That is our third segment here, talking about some notable non-first-round picks. Going into our fourth segment here, we will be going over the National League standings for the first half of this year. Just giving my thoughts on it, giving some surprises, my general thoughts on them, and we'll be going more into this tomorrow and Thursday's show. Well, of course, there are no games going on, so yeah, we'll be doing that, and we'll see you after the break. So thanks, and bye.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our fourth segment, which is going to be going over the National League standings at the halfway point of this year. I did just want to go talk about them, give some surprises that were there, in my opinion, just give my general thoughts and maybe some teams to watch out for in the second half. So yeah, we will be doing a full prediction segment for the standings for both the American League and the National League. Not sure what day that'll be either. It'll be sometime this week because, of course, the All-Star breaks this week and we don't have games till Friday night. So we'll be at some point this week, but when that happens, I'll give you an update. But yeah, just going over the National League standings here now. So I wanted to go over just all of them and give my thoughts. And starting off in the National League East, we have at the number one position the Philadelphia Phillies, who are 62-34, have a .646 winning percentage. Now, did I expect the Phillies to be in first place? No. But after Acuna got hurt, I thought it was pretty likely and it made a lot of sense. The Phillies have just been off to such a great start this year because of all the breakout performances in their starting rotation. Christopher Sanchez has become a real part of that rotation, just got an extension to show for it as well. Ranger Suarez has become an all-star candidate, and Spencer Turnbull has become such an important depth piece to this team after getting signed. So this Phillies rotation has been absolutely amazing. Adds on to their incredible offense as well. It has so many all-stars there. I mean, you of course have JT Realmuto, great catcher, Bryce Harper, maybe the best first baseman in baseball. Trey Turner, fantastic. Alec Bohm has had a breakout season. You also have Brandon Marsh, who's been very good in the outfield. Kyle Schwarber hits a bunch of home runs always. So this team has become very good. I mean, it's been so elite this year. Their bullpen has been very good as well. Jeff Hoffman has become such a fantastic piece out there. Also, of course, Jose Alvarado closing games. So just a fantastic Phillies team this year. They've done so good. And yeah, top of the East. I'm surprised a little bit, but they deserved it. Second, we have the Atlanta Braves, who are 53-42, and who currently are in the top and a wild card seed. After Strider and Acuna both had their season-ending injuries, I thought it made some sense for the Braves to be able to drop back and kind of go back into the wild card conversation, not the division conversation. Is it possible they take the division away from the Phillies? Yes, but just the way the Phillies look so dominant this year, I really don't know if it's possible. So the Braves still have a very good team. I think they do need to add an outfielder, maybe a bullpen arm or two as well. So still a very good Braves team, and the way they fought back since the Strider and Acuna injuries is very good. And yeah, there's still a lot to like about this team. Just are not good as they should be, of course, because of the injuries they've had. Two guys like Strider, two guys like Acuna as well. After that, we have the Mets, who are 49-46, and are in sole position of the third wildcard spot. What a season the Mets have had. I mean, starting 22-33, we really thought they were dead in the water. I, as a Mets fan, was starting to count what players we could trade at the deadline to get prospects for, and man, if they turned it around. They've been the best team in baseball since the start of June, and they look legit, to be perfectly honest. They're now very much in a wild card spot, or in the third wild card spot by themselves. The pitching is really good, and their ace is coming back soon in Kodai Senga. Their offense has been fantastic with amazing contributions from Francisco Alvarez, Francisco Lindor, Mark Vientos, Brandon Nimmo, Harrison Bader, J.D. Martinez. Pete Alonso hasn't been bad as well. So an amazing Mets team that I think looks legit, is very good, and I'll be talking about definitely in my full predictions for the playoffs. So yeah. Nationals are fourth place here at 44-53 with a .444 winning percentage. The Nationals were actually in possession of a wild card spot at one time, but they did kind of fall back to earth. They'll be very good next year. That's what I have to say. I think they have a ton of talent coming through this farm system with guys like James Wood, who just got called up, Dylan Cruz, Robert Hassel coming up soon. Already guys at the major league level as well, like Mackenzie Gore, Josiah Gray, Mitchell Parker, Jake Irvin, C.J. Abrams, guys who are already part of this team and have done fantastic as well. So overall, this Nationals team has a very good future. This year is not their year because everyone's going to come up next year, but still a lot to like if you're a Nationals fan, a lot to be proud of, and just a lot to be happy about right now if you are a fan of this team. So props to them. Last but not least, we have the Miami Marlins in last place in this division, who are 33-63. Wow, with a .344 winning percentage. That's bad. The Marlins are bad. They're going to get much worse at the deadline once they trade everyone of value. Not much else to say there. The NL Central here, we are going to move on there. We have at the first place position, at 55-42, 5-67 winning percentage, the Milwaukee Brewers. Going into this year, I really did not expect this from the Brewers. I thought they would be more of a rebuilding team and a team that's not too very well this year. I thought, they would kind of just be stuck in the middle after the trade of Corbin Burns and Brandon Woodruff being out for the year. But their offense has really stepped up. A lot of their young pieces on this team have done a great, great job. And yeah, just overall, they've done a very good job being able to be in first place in this division. I think they're a legit team as well, and I think they're going to continue doing it. So, yeah, the Brewers have done a fantastic, fantastic job here, and have been a great, great team for this year. So, I've surprised a lot of people, and have done a really great job. So, props to them, and props to what they've been able to do this year. Next, in second place, we have the St. Louis Cardinals at 50-45, 521 winning percentage, who are in second place in the wild card position. The Cardinals were also a team that surprised me. I really did not expect much from them this year. I thought their rotation would be bad. I thought their offense would regress, and both have been pretty much true, but they've somehow made the playoffs. I think their offense has been pretty good, even though it has been regressing. Their bullpen is locked down, and their starting pitchers have been good enough to where it doesn't really matter. I think, they're not going to continue being this good. I don't think Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson will continue to be positive contributors to this team, but they've done really well so far, are in second place in the wild card, and got to hand it to them. They've done really, really well, and have exceeded my expectations, and I'm sure exceeded a lot of people's expectations. Third place, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are exactly 500 at 48-48. The Pirates are kind of like the Nationals, but better. Next year is their year. You have an elite top three in the rotation of Mitch Keller, Jared Jones, and Paul Skeens that isn't going anywhere for the foreseeable future. You have some nice pieces on the lineup in guys like Connor Joe, who has done very well. Brian Reynolds has become a fantastic, fantastic piece for this team. Bullpen is really nice with David Bednar, Colin Holderman, and Aroldis Chapman, proven to be a formidable trio at the end of that bullpen, even with some of their ups and downs. So this Pirates team has a lot going for them. I think if they make the playoffs, they can be very, very scary because of that pitching core, but I'm just not sure they'll be able to. So I think next year is their year, and they'll continue to be great then. So we'll be watching them next year. Fourth place, we have the Cincinnati Reds, 47-50, 485 winning percentage. I really expected the Reds to win the division this year. I thought they would be really, really good. But overall, injuries, suspensions have gotten to them, underperformance as well. I think next year they'll be much better, but just this year has been disappointing. But next year I really think is going to be their year, and I'll be very interested to see what is going to happen with them. Next up, we have finally in the NL Central, the Cubs, who are 47-51, 40 winning percentage. They did really well at the start of this year. Shota Imanaga was looking like a Cy Young contender, and man, it's all fallen apart. This team has really not done well. They have really not performed to their highest standards, and man, they have just been a big, big disappointment this year. I don't know what to say. I don't know where this team goes from here. I don't know what the future is going to look like, but it is not pretty. Going to the NL West here, we have in first place, of course, Los Angeles Dodgers, 56-41, a 577 winning percentage. No surprises here. I mean, this Dodgers team is fantastic. They have superstars. They are dealing with some injuries right now, but once those guys come back, they'll be great. I think they'll continue to be a very good team, and not surprised whatsoever that they are a fantastic, fantastic team, and are going to continue to be. So they're at the top of the NL West for a reason. No other thoughts here. After that, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are 49-48, a 505 winning percentage, who are very close to the wild card here at one game out of the final spot. This Diamondbacks team is up with a lot of injuries: Eduardo Rodriguez, Jordan Montgomery, Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen, mainly to their rotation. I think when these guys come back, they can become a very, very good team. And yeah, I'm very excited to be able to watch them. Very excited to see what is going to happen with them fully healthy. And yeah, I think they're overall still a very good team. Next, we have the San Diego Padres at 50-49, 505 winning percentage, same as the Arizona Diamondbacks, who are also one game out. Top of the Diamondbacks, of course, as they same winning percentage. This Padres team has so much talent that it's hard to envision them not making it close to the playoffs. Luis Arraez has been such a great addition to their offense since coming over, and overall, I really like this Padres team. They've done very well this year. You know, the pitching rotation has become a little scuffed with Yu Darvish being out indefinitely, going on the I forgot the name of the list. Joe Musgrove having on and off injuries all year, so there are a lot of question marks about this team. But overall, I still like them a lot, and I still think they do have a lot of talent and are going to be able to fight for a playoff position. The Giants at 47-50, 485 winning percentage. The Giants are okay. They have a really good pitching staff that's going to come back, and I like their offense, but I do think they have some needs that need to be addressed at the deadline if they want to continue being good. I don't think it's impossible, but I do think these needs have to be considered. And finally, the Rockies at 34-63. They are awful. We expect them to be in last place, and they have Ryan McMahon, who's an all-star. He's good, but that's it. Nothing else to say about the Rockies. So yeah, that is our fourth segment here, talking about the National League standings of this year. Going into our fifth and final segment here, we are going to be talking about the American League standings of this year. Just going over them, basically the same thing we just did with the National League. So yeah, that'll be our fifth and final segment, and we'll see you then. So thanks, and bye. And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our fifth and final segment for today, which is going to be talking about the American League standings at the halfway point of this year, giving my thoughts on them, giving some surprise as well, and just going over exactly what I think about them, and yeah, just going over it. So yeah, first off, we have the American League East at first place in the division. At 58-38, we have Baltimore Orioles, a .604 winning percentage for them. So, overall, the Orioles have been absolutely fantastic this year. I think they've pretty much lived up to every single expectation that we really expected of them this year. I think that most people expected them to build off of last year after the addition of Corbin Burnes, which is huge, and do better, and that's exactly what they've done. They're now one game ahead of the Yankees in first place in the AL East, who we expected them to be fighting with all year. Got the last game of a big series in Baltimore over this past weekend, and yeah, just overall have done a really, really great job, and are a fantastic, fantastic team. Have so many great young players on this team, and also ones that have yet to come up in this farm system as well. So they're not going anywhere for a long, long time. They do have some needs they have to fill. I think another starting pitcher is definitely a need, so we'll be watching that. But overall, still, this team is absolutely fantastic. There's a lot to like here, and yeah, I mean they've done such a great job this year as a team, and yeah, have been overall really, really good. So props to them. Next up, we have in second place, of course, the New York Yankees, who are 58-40, 592 winning percentage, a game out of first place, and of course, hold the first place wild card spot. Now, the Yankees and Orioles, we expected to go at it all year for first place in the AL East, and that's exactly what they've done. The Yankees started off absolutely incredible, being the best team in baseball by far, but they've really hit a little bit of a rough spot this part of the year now. There's a lot of question marks going about them. That is, do they have any good hitters besides Aaron Judge and Juan Soto? Again, I've told this before on the show. I don't really think so. Their rotation suffered a little bit. Their bullpen is not great. So there are some needs that have to be fixed here. But look, you have a great base. You have Garrett Cole, who's your ace. You have Aaron Judge and Juan Soto in that lineup. You have some of the best superstars a team can build around. So you still have some question marks on this team. You have to trade for some people at the deadline, but you still have a very good team. Team that is, overall very exciting to watch, and yeah, should be very, very interesting to see what is going to happen with them and just what the rest of this year looks like. After that, we have in third place, who is in charge right now of the third wildcard spot in the American League, the Boston Red Sox, who are at a 53-42 record and have a .558 winning percentage. The Red Sox have been one of the biggest surprises of this entire year. I really did not expect them to be that good this year. I thought their rotation needed an ace-level pitcher. I thought their offense had some flaws in it, and man, have they proven me wrong. They've had really nice contributions from people in this rotation like Nick Pivetta, Tanner Houck, Garrett Whitlock. So the rotation's been absolutely fantastic. Their lineup has been great. Tyler O'Neill's become an amazing addition. Rafael Devers has done his thing. Connor Wong's really broken out. Jarren Duran's really broken out. So I really like this Red Sox team, honestly, and I think that there is a lot to like here for this team. I think there is a lot of positive contributions here for this team, and just a lot of players to be able to really like and overall be able to look at for the future and say, yeah, we really like him and he's a big part. So very, very exciting time if you're a Red Sox fan, and they've had a great, great season. Props to them. Fourth place, we have exactly at 500, 48-48, the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays have been disappointing this year, but kind of what I expected. I thought they would be pretty mediocre, and that's exactly what they have been. They had too many injuries this year going into for me to feel like they would be a true contender. Shane McClanahan, Jeffrey Springs, significant injuries. And obviously with the shortstop situation after Wander Franco, obviously the Rays just had a lot of question marks going into this year for them. So overall, I did not think they would be that competitive, and that is what has continued to happen here. So yeah, I think next year's their year when everyone gets healthy, when they fully figure out the shortstop situation. And yeah, that's all I'll say about them for now. Just kind of got hit with some bad luck. The Blue Jays in last place here at 44-52, a .458 winning percentage. Man, this year has gone bad for the Jays. Are carrying a franchise record payroll, and it is not going well. They're gearing towards, I would say, a full-out rebuild with the way they performed this year and the way they performed all throughout. So, yeah, definitely is not great for them right now. I think that they're really, again, gearing towards a full-out rebuild, and, man, not going well for their franchise right now. Will be interesting to see what happens at the deadline and how that really changes the course of their franchise. But, man, it has not gone great for them. AL Central now, we have the Guardians in first place at 58-37, a .611 winning percentage. Wow, have the Guardians been absolutely fantastic. I mean, I've talked about them enough in this show, but continuing to talk about them, I did not expect them to be that good this year. I really did not expect them to be good whatsoever, and the fact that they now are fully in first place of this AL Central is absolutely fantastic. They've had such great contribution, guys I really did not think would be good. And man, what a team they've been. How good they've been has been absolutely incredible, and props to them. And wow, what a season they've had. Second place, we have the Minnesota Twins, who are 54-42, who have a .553 winning percentage and are in .563 winning percentage, my apologies, and are in second place in the wild card. Yeah, Twins are a really good team. They have a ton of great pieces. I thought they would be by far the best team in the AL Central this year. I did not really think anyone can compare it to them, but man, they have done a fantastic, fantastic job. And the Guardians have done a fantastic, fantastic job, which is what I mean to say. And as much as the Twins have done a really good job as well, second place is, I'd say right now, is fine for them for where they are with this team. So, yeah, good job by them, and yeah, good job being here in second place. Third place, we have at 52-45, .563 winning percentage, the Kansas City Royals, who are 7 games back here and are 1 game out of the third wildcard spot. The Royals had a really good start to the season, have floundered a little bit, but overall, I still think are a very good team. Have such a great rotation that there's no way they can be bad at all. Their offense has some really nice pieces, of course. Bobby Witt Jr. turning into an all-out superstar. Had some other great pieces on the offense as well, like Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, MJ Melendez. So still a very good team. Just, are really going to need to fight for that final wildcard spot, and I do think need to add a bat. The Detroit Tigers are next, 47-50, a .485 winning percentage. Man, their bats failed them this year. I really thought they would be good. Their rotation has been absolutely fantastic, with Jack Flaherty and Tarek Subel really being great at the top of that rotation for them. But guys like Parker Meadows, Colt Keith, and Spencer Torkelson, young bats they really expected a lot of this year, have not done well. 2 out of the 3 are in the minors. I'm sure the other one would be in the minors, Colt Keith, if he didn't sign that big extension before the year. So their bats really failed them, but their pitching rotation is great, and if you can keep that together for the long run, I think you're going to be a fantastic team once you get those bats going. Finally, the White Sox at 27-71, above 70 losses before the All-Star break. At the All-Star break, man, gosh, that's rough. Whew. I expected them to be really bad. Maybe not this bad, but they're really, really, really bad, and they're going to get worse by the deadline. I don't even know if they're going to end up with 40 wins at this point. Oh my gosh, they're bad. Going to the AL West here, we have at the top of it the Seattle Mariners, who are only 1 game above the Houston Astros at 52-46, a .531 winning percentage. The Astros and Rangers really got off to a rough start this year, and the Mariners took advantage of that. Their pitching rotation is absolutely fantastic. Once their offense gets going, which it really has not, they'll be even better. So a lot to like about this Mariners team. The Astros and Rangers have done much better as of recently and are right in their tails, yes, but still a lot to like about this Mariners team. A ton of good pieces, and will be very interesting to watch them for the rest of this year. The Astros at 50-46 are next, the .521 winning percentage, only one game out, and they are also very close to the wild card right now, only 3.5 out, but still have been probably the best team in baseball since the start of June. So overall, have been a very good team since then. But man, the way they started out was really rough, and I'm not sure they'll be able to come back from it. So, but if they do make the playoffs, they'll be scary. Need to add at least one starting pitcher, maybe even two, maybe a first baseman as well. So, be very interesting to watch them this year and see what happens the rest. Rangers at 46 and 50, .479 winning percentage. Have done better recently, but still are not close to wild card right now. Still are 7.5 out. I don't know why there's rumors that they want to buy now because this short winning streak. They are not that good. They should not be buying. And yeah, overall, this is just a bad year for them. Injuries really took a hold of them. I think next year is your year to go for it again, try to compete for another World Series championship with this core. But man, the injuries really have roughed them this year, and they've not been good. Angels at 41-55 are in fourth place, .427 winning percentage. They are awful. Trout got hurt for the rest of the year. Not much to like about them. They're going to be here. No surprises. And last place, of course, is the Oakland Athletics, who are 36-7-61. Mason Miller and Brent Rooker are the only reasons why they are not on the White Sox level of bad. So, yeah, but overall, they're an awful, awful team, and this is where we expect them to be. Maybe even worse, but props to them for not doing as bad. So, that is our show for today, guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe to the notification bell to not only get notified when I upload, but all the other great content creators on this channel do. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. And that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, and bye. There we go. Bye.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.